Hi, it's a Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I need to get my face on, thought we could do it together. I have in front of me all the new stuff that I purchased that I haven't shown you. Well, there might be one or two things in here that you've seen before. You might have seen these in the description portion of some previous videos, but most of these are things I haven't yet used on camera, and I wanted to do that today. I'm going to start by putting on my foundation, and I'm going to start with this. This is from the brand Monica Blunder Beauty. This is the Blunder cover. And this is a balm. Oops, let me take that off. This is a balm foundation. This is what I wanted. I've used it once, but this is what I wanted the L'Oreal balm. What was it? Was it Age Perfect? No, it was just their balm foundation to be like. This is beautiful. This is so nice. I'm wearing the shade number 1 Eins. It's a little on the light side. I'm hoping that it'll work a little bit better once winter comes. But for me, what really sealed the deal is the fact that number 2 was way too dark. But when I blend it out, it looks really pretty. I still haven't figured out how to use this. Last time I applied it, I applied with my fingers and blended with my fingers. But I really feel like, you know, to apply, to put it on there, it's hard to just like, you know, finger and smudge it on. I feel like I'm getting better coverage if I just take my brush and put it where I want it and then blend it with a sponge. Otherwise it can look a little heavy, and that's not what I want. I want it to be lightweight, but also to get rid of, you know, the small freckling that I have, the redness that I have around the corners of my nose. If I build this up, I can get some pretty serious coverage. You can also use this as concealer. I'm not going to do that today because I have thoughts about that. It doesn't actually do very well under my eyes. The first time I tried this, when I did that, I found that it settled into the crinkles under my eyes because it is more emollient. It's a balm. But what I like about this balm foundation is that it looks so pretty on my skin. Now that I have it distributed on my face with a brush, I'm just going to start pouncing it in with a sponge because I want this to look absolutely skin-like. I'm at the place now where I feel like my skin looks really pretty. I still do have some pigmentation coming through right here, a little bit of melasma, my dark spot, but I feel like overall the redness and some of the hyperpigmentation and freckling has been dialed down. I don't look like I'm wearing a heavy mask of makeup, and that's what I'm going for, but I'm going to let my concealer do more of the heavy lifting for me. For concealer, I'm going to reach for the CL Conceal and Protect. This has SPF 50 in it. Now, I normally don't expect my concealer to have SPF 50, but what I do want is a heavy-duty concealer to get rid of all of my sins. So let's start here with like my biggest sunspot, and you need very, very little of this. And I'm going to start by tapping it in with my finger. And it just really takes it down. It's almost like, wait, what? Where did it go? And it's still there. Could I build up more? Yeah, but I don't want to. I want the foundation and the concealer to look like they belong together. I'm also going to use a little bit of this underneath the eye. I don't want a lot. And then a couple of other spaces on my face where I feel like I have more pigment than I would want. And then I'll just blend it out. I just use my fingers to tap this out, and I feel like it's exactly what I'm wanting. It can be, and here's where I tell you, if I haven't been good at hydrating my under eyes, it can be a little heavy under the eyes on my more mature skin. I'm nearly 50. 50 is coming in January for me. And I do want to let you know that if you have mature skin, you gotta be good about hydrating, especially the under eyes. I feel like on the rest of the face, it's less noticeable, but my under eyes are my trouble spot. And although it has a lot of really good coverage, like today, I didn't even have to put on corrector. Normally I'll put on corrector and then concealer. This is heavy enough coverage that I don't feel like I need that with this, but if I don't have it perfectly hydrated, it's not always a pretty situation. I've been on a powder kick recently, and I picked up the new pink version of the Cloud Set from Kosas. This is the shade Candy. I do have the lightest kind of translucent shade called Airy, but this is one of the new kind of color correcting ones. I'm going to take just a small little brush like this, just picking some up here knocking off any excess, and then just tapping this under the eye. I want to make sure I'm kind of pushing it into all of my little crinkles and wrinkles. And I'm just going to use this on a few other places, like my forehead, because I don't want any of the blender cover to settle into my fine lines, and then around my nose, and then corners of my mouth, because sometimes I'll get foundation that kind of settles in these little lines right here. That's not my favorite. Here is something that I've been wanting to try for years, and I just never got around to it. And then I saw Jen Phelps use this, and she was in love with it. This is from RMS. This is the Buriti Bronzer. And I was worried for years I didn't get it because it looks so dark in the pan. But Jen and I are both on the fair side. And when I saw her use it, I was like, because even when I swatched it before in store, I was like, I don't know. But when you blend it out, it ends up looking, it has kind of like a red undertone. So it ends up looking more like a sunburn, and it brings color to the face as well as not being too orange, which is what I like. So I'm just going to grab, and I've had this for years, this little RMS foundation brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this on the brush, swirl it on the back of my hand because I don't want it to be too pigmented, but then just kind of brush this on. I don't think you would need to have this brush. I just happened to pick it up because I remember seeing Rosemary Swift, who is the owner of RMS, using it to put on the bronzer, and I was like, oh, I have that brush. Let me see what that's like. And I think it's a pretty, just enough, not too much amount of color. I'm worried that if I swirl over my hyperpigmentation spot, then I am going to end up, I'm going to switch brushes. And then bouncing it off on the back of my hand, because this way I feel like I can pounce it on, and something like this is a little bit easier for me. This, by the way, is the BK 107. It's kind of like an oval shaped brush. I really like using BK brushes for cream products, for liquids, because I feel like they don't absorb, since they're synthetic, they don't absorb that much. And it's just really easy to kind of pounce it on. So once my cheeks kind of calm down from having me been stamping on them with a brush, this is what it looks like. It's very subtle. A lot of that is because I do bounce it off on the back of my hand. I don't want to go straight from the pot to the cheek because that doesn't give me as much control as I need. This is one of those that you could certainly build up to give you more color if you need it, but I was always worried as someone who's very fair that this was just going to look like dirt on my face, and I don't feel like it does. I feel like it looks like just the right amount of color without being too much. And I feel like even up here around the hairline, it looks more like I got sun as opposed to having kind of like a warm orangey colored bronzer on. Those don't always work for me. And even though there is a little bit of shimmer in the pan, you're like, wait, what? It just looks like skin. And I think this is nice. I'm still not like sold on this. It is a little bit more work than I want to do on a regular basis, but I wanted to show it to you today. So when I picked up the blender cover from Monica Blender Beauty, I also picked up this liquid blush. This is in the shade, and I don't speak German, Muchen? I don't know. It's a really, really pretty color. So I'm just gonna take some, put it on the back of my hand like this. And I'm gonna take another BK, this is the 106, and just grab little bits of it and spread it out on the back of my hand while distributing it through the bristles. So I didn't take all of it, just little bits. And then I'm just gonna dab this on where I want a little bit of blush. I feel like I need some eyebrows desperately. So I'm gonna pull this out. This is from NYX. This is their Powder Louder brush. And it's very reminiscent of the powder pencil from Benefit. And so it's a sharpenable wooden pencil where the hair strokes that you get, I mean, they're not the finest out there, but what I like about it is the formula, because the formula ends up looking more natural and less waxy and less heavy. And when I don't want like a really highly structured brow, something like this is really great. I feel like it doesn't take a lot to get this to look like polished and finished without being too much. Like this is my really weak eyebrow as well. I have some massive gaps like right in this area at the arch. And this does a good job of kind of just making it look like I have more brow hair than I do. That's what I like. Finally broke down and picked up the full size of the 24-hour brow setter. I like this product. I had been using for years the Control Freak from NYX, and it's good. It just doesn't have as much hold as this does. And I'm always looking for something that's really going to tame my brows. And it's a really interesting design because you have like a totally flat side and then a side with bristles, like longer bristles on this side, shorter bristles on this side, and then two totally flat sides. So, I mean, I don't know if it's designed this way, but I use the flat side to kind of layer on the gel. And then I'll use one of the other sides to kind of brush my hairs up into place. And then when it dries, it stays all day. That's what I want. So I'm gonna fill them, and then I'm gonna kind of sculpt them where I want them, and I'm gonna leave them alone. Here's something that I picked up recently as part of a gift set, and you might have already seen it. It's from Lancome. It's their holiday palette. It comes with their beauty holiday box, and I have really been liking the shades in here. They're definitely on the Boring Betty side of things. You know, there's a little bit of pink in here, but there's a lot of browns, very neutral leaning. This is lovely. The one thing that I love so much about this, first of all, the front of it is very nice. It has the imprint of the Lancome rose. And instead of, you know, being kind of clunky and heavy, it's very sleek and slim, and it has a magnetic closure. Has a nice big full-size mirror. I really have been liking this palette. So I'm just gonna grab a brush and start by putting a little something in my crease. And I do find that these do best for me when I take the time to knock off the excess. And when I do that, I don't have any fallout below. What was interesting was I was expecting these to be made somewhere in Asia. This palette is actually made in Italy. Now, there's a lot of different types of factories when it comes to makeup, but when something is Italian, I'm like, oh, really? Ooh. So I think that's one of the reasons why I like it, because I feel like the quality is different than what I've had in the past from Lancome. I'm not going to do something, you know, too involved today. I'm going to keep it more on the simple side. I'm going to go into this shade here. It's kind of like almost a mushroomy taupe shade. Has a little bit of sparkle in it. It's not a ton. But I want something really soft and easy today, and I think a 2 shadow look is exactly what I'm going for. Very low key. I'm going to take a little bit of that first taupey shade on the lower lash line. I don't want to go all the way in, just right here on the outside half. Here's something I recently picked up because I wanted to try more of the pencils from Makeup Forever. They had a very similar gift set last year, and I totally missed it because by the time I got around to it during the Sephora sale, she was gone. This is the Artist Color Pencil Magic Minis, and you're getting 3 eye pencils and 2 lip pencils in here. So it comes like this. I really like that. You're getting a white, a black, a brown, and then you're getting the shade Wherever Walnut and Anywhere Caffeine. I'm going to start with the Limitless Brown pencil, and I'm just going to lightly, as close to the lash line as possible, just really hit that area. I don't want a very big statement today. I'm not looking for like a ton of intensity. I want it to be more on the natural side, but very pretty. I'm also going to take just a little bit of this and shove it into the lash line. My goal is not to like tight line with this, but just to get the gaps in between my lashes as much as possible. So literally in the lash itself, and then give it a little wiggle, because I do have more gaps than I would like in my lashes. And I feel like this makes it a more complete look. And then I have this little pencil brush, and I'm just gonna smoke it out a little bit. I don't want it to look too crisp or too perfect. The main reason I'm doing this is because it doesn't look crisp or perfect. We're just cheating a little bit. For mascara today, I'm going to use the new tubing mascara from M. This is called the Shape Shift Tubing Mascara. I really like this. think I've shown it to you once before, but I really have been loving how easy it is to remove. And it's beautiful for every day. When I'm not going for like the most voluminous, like a big look, and I want something a little bit more pared down, this is like my perfect daily mascara. And I find that with a tubing mascara, instead of letting it dry and coming back to add another coat, the best thing for me to do is just to keep applying until I like where I'm at, and then calling it quits. I'm going to be reaching for this right now. This is the Dragon palette from Hourglass. I was like, I don't need it, I don't want it, and then I saw it in store and it was so pretty, so pretty. So I'm going to start by just taking I should probably take a smaller brush. Let's take a smaller brush, and I'm just going to hit both finishing powders here. Just pick up a little bit of each and just kind of go over the top. And just for funsies, I'm going to dip into the bronzer and the blush in here, and I don't have any highlight on. I was coming to this for highlight, and I was like, let's play with the rest of them as well. I always love the Hourglass powders. They always just look so beautiful and glossy on the skin. And then I'm going to take the swirled one here and just give myself a little bit more blush. Not that I needed it. I'm going to grab the highlight in here and give myself just a little bit on the high points. I don't want too much. I find the older that I get, if I use too bright of a highlight, it's not always pretty. Before I put on a lip today, I'm going to go in and spray my face with the Divine Water. This is a perfecting mist from M Cosmetics. There's something about this that just really makes all of the makeup kind of become one with my face, and it gives it a beautiful, like I already have a glow from the Hourglass powders, but just wait and see what it looks like after. It's like insane. It smells really good too. Oh, I like that. I'm just gonna take a minute to fan my face. All right, let's talk lips. I've got 3 options. I have this new one from Monica Blunder. This one is called Anna Maria. It's kind of like a chubby pencil sort of lipstick. I don't love the packaging, but I really wanted to try more from this brand. The second thing I have here is the shade Mirage. It's from M Cosmetics. This is their Lip Mage. This is something that came out, I think, earlier this year. It's a serum lip tint, and I ended up not actually picking it up when it launched, but I picked up the Divine Water, the new mascara, and this all at the same time because I always like to try the latest from M Cosmetics, and I feel like they do some really interesting things. Last lipstick I have for you is this one. This is from Estee Lauder. This is called the Pure Color Explicit Silk Matte Lipstick. This is the shade Heartbeat, and I'm kind of like, what shade do I want? I'm going to start out with a little bit of the liner from Makeup Forever. This is the shade Anywhere Caffeine. And then I'm going to throw on this Monica Blunder in the shade Anna Maria. It's a little bit warmer than I was anticipating. And for fun, let's just throw on a little bit of the Lip Mage as well. This is the shade Mirage. I want just a little bit of gloss, like right here in the middle. And it's not really a lip gloss, but it's a lip serum, but it does have a nice glossy look to it. Oh, that's a pretty combo. I'll have to save Little Miss Heartbeat here for another day because I'm really liking this. I feel like it really has those really pretty kind of camel colored vibes that go really well with the sweater that I'm wearing today. I feel like this turned out really good, where it's not too much, it's just enough. I really have been loving this mascara, and I feel like even though it is expensive at $90, like the look on the skin is so pretty, so pretty. That as well as the blender cover, I think this is going to be something that I'm reaching for more and more because I want a little bit without it being too much, and then I also want it to look like my skin. And the older I get, the more of that I need. And it's also just got a little bit of hydration to it, so it is not too on the dry side. All of those things are working towards my advantage the older I get. Well, thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know, what are the new things that you've been picking up? What are the new things you've been trying? Is there anything here that you're like, ooh, that looks interesting, or oh yeah, I have that. Here's what I think about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon.